Welcome to the BlizzShow, brought to you by New Wave Productions. I'm Tom Terrar. I'll be with you all season, where we will sit down, talk to a Blizzard player, talk about a little bit about his personal life, his hometown, talk about the games coming up, as well as the games from the previous weekend. And today we have Andrew Hicks with us, defenseman of the St. Cloud Blizzard. Hicks, thanks for being on with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I called you Hicks right away. So that's what's in my brain. You're not Andrew, you're Hicks, right?
Yeah, I'm just
for
Hicks.
everyone.
That's what
on the
everybody
team,
calls me.
right?
Yeah, Hicks.
I mean, we'll start out. You're a 99, so this is your last year in juniors. You played with the Jets. You played with the Blizzard. You're from Minnetonka High School. You won a state championship, Minnesota state championship. That's like winning Texas football. I mean, it's the biggest stage for high school. Just talk a little bit about what was it like being the captain of the state championship team.
It was a blast. It was a great group of guys, really fun time. We had a really big core leadership group of us seniors, and we kind of had made it a point right away that it wasn't necessarily just the guys wearing a letter that had to be leaders. It had to be all the seniors and just really anybody on the team. And I mean, we just all got along so well. It was really easy. I didn't really have to be anybody different than I was.
Right.
Everybody got along super well. Whether you were a sophomore or a senior, we were all super close knit group of guys.
Yeah. And talk about, we're going to talk about that skill level on that team, because I got a little list right here. I could run through them all, but guys like Jack Bayless, UMass Lowell, Bobby Brink and Josh Lutke, is that right?
Yeah,
Lutke, going to Denver. Joe Moliner going to Molinar. Dang it. From St. Cloud State, going to St. Cloud State University. Lagerback, Arizona State. Lowhite.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
UMD, and he was recently drafted into the NHL too by the Senators. I mean, that's as loaded of a group as you can get. Talk about kind of what it was like then when you guys were just playing and loving high school hockey, and what it's like now with that same group of guys. You still close? You still talk to them a lot?
Yeah, we're still super close, and we lost a couple of guys too. We lost one of my close buddies, Keandre Miller. He ended up going to the National Development Program, and then another one of my close friends, Clay Hannes, went and played in the Western League out in Canada. Yep. And so we ended up losing those guys, but we all just we've been close. I switched over to Minnetonka my 8th grade year, and they were super welcoming right away, and they've been my best friends ever since. And every summer or whenever we get a break, we all get together, and we still have our fantasy football league going on.
Oh, that's awesome.
Way back when. Yeah. So we're super close still. We see each other all the time in the summer, and we've got everybody in our fantasy football league. There were sophomores that year, juniors, seniors. Awesome. It was pretty much just everybody. We're super close to this day and always have been.
That's awesome to hear. And talk a little bit. Well, first of all, I got to ask, do you have a ring?
Yes, I do have a ring. Yes.
And you don't wear it around? You don't flaunt it to the guys?
No. I might bring it back after Christmas break and just at a team dinner or something.
Yeah, just kind of do a little. Throw it up like.
See if everybody notices. Yeah. Suki ended up winning the single A state championship that year too. Yeah. So I don't know if he has a ring, but maybe if he does.
That's single A. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. It's half as good. So.
Well, and I know we just talked about what was it like being a captain, but talk about, obviously those guys are on and are at your level, if not higher, but you only scored, 17 points your senior year. How were you able to lead and not always be the guy putting the puck in the net?
I think it was just mainly defensively. I've always kind of pictured myself and been told that I've been kind of a two-way defenseman, and right away, with Lutke and Grant Doctor, obviously committed to play Division I hockey already. They were very offensive minded, and so we ended up getting a new defensive coach, Jack Hillen, who is an ex-NHL player, and he kind of came out to me right away. He's like, listen, you're going to be playing with another senior this year, and we need you guys we want to put you guys out there against the other team's top line. Yeah. So we want to send you guys out there every single time that we need to stop, and, obviously, you'll get a power play opportunity, but the other guys the other D pair is more offensive, so we're going to give them the majority of it, and so they said right away, they're like, hey, that's what we expect from you. Like, obviously you'll pitch in offensively too, but they were like, we need you to be a leader defensively and obviously off the ice too. They're just like, it doesn't seem like there's anybody that has a problem with you. Everybody seems to like you as a person, and that's a big thing, being a leader. Like, you need to be respected, and you need to get along with everybody. You can't just always be condescending and just kind of talk down to everybody, but you just have to kind of be one of them. And I mean, I was a sophomore on the team too, scared of all the older guys. So I know how it is. You got to welcome them in. But it was a good time. It was fun. I mean, I didn't really have to try too hard because we had a very mature team, so it wasn't even like the sophomores you wouldn't have thought were sophomores. They were. They acted more like seniors anyways, but
that makes your job real easy.
Yeah,
it makes your job real easy. Talk about we'll get off finally Minnetonka. We'll finally get off Minnetonka. Talk about obviously you played in Janesville. You actually played with Sam Metcalf last year a little bit in Janesville. Were you guys friends there? And talk about, are you guys friends here now? And you're both in St. Cloud.
Yeah. So Sammy came about just before Christmas break last year, and I started the year in Janesville, and so he came in. We had a goalie injury, like, I want to say October or something like that, so Sam came in later in November, and he ended up living with one of my best friends down there, Philippe Bjorkman, who's on the Wilderness now. And so we all three kind of hung out all the time, and it was just, we kind of grew closer. I wouldn't say we were as close as we are now, but we were definitely close friends. And then us kind of both going away from Janesville this year, I was happy we got to get back together, and he's obviously a great goaltender, so he was living with me for a little bit right when he got up here, and we've been even closer than we were last year too.
That's awesome to hear. It's fun to have reunite like that, different teams. It happens a lot more than you think in NA because there's so much movement between players.
Absolutely.
So, absolutely. What do you like about St. Cloud so far? And I know you did room with Metcalf. Who are you rooming with now?
So I'm living with Britt League right now. So I went from one goalie to another goalie. But I like St. Cloud. I mean, obviously it's nice to be close to home, but also still not living at home.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
I mean, I think there would be some benefits to living at home, but then again, I'm 20 years old. I kind of want to get out of the house. And, so it's nice to be close to home, at least, just so that I know if I need something, I can run home, or if something happens with my family or something, I can run down there, make a quick trip, and it's only an hour away for Christmas break and off weekends and such. But it's nice being close to home, but also just I like the group of guys a lot. I knew a decent amount of guys coming in, whether we had played together in the past or trained together in the summer. And, that's always a smooth transition when you know guys. And, I mean, everybody on the team's super nice, and they care about each other. And so it's just been a great experience so far.
Yeah, it looks like it's a goofy group of guys, honestly.
Absolutely.
They joke around a lot. Did you play any other sports growing up, or was it hockey?
Actually, so baseball was my main sport. Growing up, I always played baseball year-round.
Catcher?
Catcher and shortstop.
Called that.
Catcher and shortstop was my those were my positions. I loved it. I mean, it's hard not to be a catcher when you live in Minnesota and you're going through Joe Mauer's But no, so I always played baseball year round, and which was obviously really hard in Minnesota, so a lot of times it was indoor. And I was, I want to say 13 or 14. I played up with the 16-year-olds, and I was just loving it. I was like, I'm going to pursue baseball. And like hockey, I tried to play year-round, but I told my off-season coach, I was like, baseball comes first. No matter what. And then, going into high school, baseball was such a slow sport, and I kind of loved how intense hockey was and high-paced. And I was like, I think I'm getting a little burnt out on baseball because I've been playing it year-round since I was like 9 or 10. And so I was like, okay, I think I'm just going to give this hockey thing a full shot. And obviously switching to Minnetonka and the success that they always had, I realized that I was going to have to put in the extra effort to be a performer there. And stand out a little bit. So I decided to switch over to hockey going into high school.
I think you made the right decision. I think you did.
Yeah. Especially coming from Minnesota. You know,
I wish you had your ring on so you could just go, I think I made the right decision.
I love that.
Most of the hockey guys, especially this team, are gamers. Are you a gamer? What do
I'm
you
actually
play?
not.
You're not a gamer?
I'll play NHL. So, like,
Okay.
if somebody wants to play me in NHL, I'll beat them every time. But, like, Fortnite, I've never... Last year I tried to get good at it. I couldn't do it, so I just gave up.
Yeah.
You know, zombies.
Oh,
in Call
yeah.
of Duty, for some reason I'm good at that, but in real Call of Duty I'm terrible. Don't
Okay.
even.
No, I know.
If I go out there, I might get like 2 kills.
It's a whole different ballgame when you like the zombies from
Yeah.
No, I get it.
So the zombies, I can get them to chase after me and everything, and then
Half the people have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
But,
that's the funny part of it.
But yeah, no, NHL and zombies, I'll give that a try. But you know, everything else, no, I really don't. I don't even have my Xbox with me since I came up here.
Fair enough. Another one for you. Who's your favorite hockey player growing up? What was the guy you looked at as your favorite player growing up?
You know, it was kind of tough for me because every single year that I've played hockey, I've played both forward and defense.
Okay.
So I've been kind of struggling whether I should pick a forward or a D to be a fan of.
Yeah.
But I would say Nicholas Lidstrom has always been somebody that I've looked up to. He's been always my favorite player, and you know he has a really good stick in the D zone, and I've always been told that my stick is one of my better traits, and so I always loved him, and that's kind of why I wore number 5 for so long. It's because he was.
Yeah.
So I would say Lidstrom for sure.
All right, that's a good pick. He might be only the best defenseman of all time.
Yeah,
but,
true.
I mean, good
Very
pick.
true.
Good pick. Going away from the hockey side, who's your hero in life? Who's your idol? Who do you look up to every single day when you're going about your business?
I'd say my dad. You know, I've never seen anybody that works as hard as he does, and you know, it's just inspirational, kind of knowing what he's gone through to give me the opportunities that I've had.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, definitely my dad. You know, both my parents obviously work really hard, but my dad I've seen him every step of the way from being a little kid. He's always going through a lot with work, but he always makes sure that there's enough time for, you know, whatever I want to do. Like he always he would always go out in the garage with me and I'd hit off a tee, or he'd give me soft toss, or he'd go out on the backyard rink with me and pass me pucks, even though he had just gotten done working for almost 10, 11, 12 hours.
Gotcha.
So yeah, definitely my dad, the old man.
Awesome. That's awesome. And I'm assuming I know this one, but I'll ask you if there's a better one. What's your best hockey moment ever?
Yeah, you know, well, we won state twice.
That's right.
So in youth, my last year, we won state, and that that was pretty special because that was the first time that Edina team had lost in like 6 years.
Oh, okay.
Like basically all of youth hockey, they'd never lost a single game until the last year, and we beat them in the state championship game. So it was pretty special, but I mean, we didn't play in front of 20,000 people, so it would definitely be winning the high school state championship.
Yeah, I assumed you had to throw something else
Yeah.
out there because we've talked about it a lot. But
Yeah, no,
we're gonna get to
special.
we're gonna get to the games now. I mean, last week's games, there's some positives and some negatives. Maybe a bigger negative from game to game. We played 2 games last weekend in Bismarck. Lost the one all weekend. We were short players. We had 9 forwards going both of those games. First one was a very close 4-3 overtime loss to the Bobcats, and then Saturday night wasn't fun. A 9-0 loss to the Bobcats. I mean, let's talk about the positive stuff first. Friday with only 9 forwards. You had 6 D men, but 9 forwards, 6 D. We barely lost in overtime. What did we do well in that one to, even with short forwards, to be able to get that force in overtime?
You know, Bismarck played well that game, and we came out and I think we had their number. We outworked them. We back-checked really hard, and their D-men love to jump up in the play. So when our forwards got back hard, it helped us D-men out just a ton. And then the other thing that we were talking about in the locker room too, our forwards were getting the puck below the goal line, which forced their forwards to come back and play the full 200-foot game.
Yeah.
And so they gave us D-men actually time with the puck because by the time they get to the red line, they just dump it in. So then we'd have just a ton of time with the puck in the D zone. And I think that was a huge factor on why we kept it close that game versus Saturday. And then our special teams work. Obviously, we didn't give up a power play goal, and their power play is fantastic. And then we scored on our power play, which has not been a common case this year. But, we're looking to turn that around, especially after last Friday. Yeah. And so that was huge. And we got pucks on net. That was the biggest thing. We just funneled pucks from wherever we were, and it just helped us because, you never know. When you're in the offensive zone, might as well take a chance.
Yeah. And you got pucks on net. You got one past the net on Friday night. Yep. You got your first goal of the season, the first defenseman goal of the season for the Blizzard. That was in game number 18. Should have came a little bit sooner, but I'm glad it came. You had a goal and an assist in that one, in the loss. And then, obviously, Saturday happened, and we have to talk about it. It happened. Pretty much I have, what the heck happened on Saturday? How did we go from that tightly contested game to that 9-0 game? And I know there was an event at the beginning of the game. If you guys watched the game, there was a big hit in the middle of the ice. No penalties were called other than fights after the hit. But it was a clean hit. Bud Winter and Hillman hit each other in the middle of the ice, and Hillman was down the ice for a little bit. It seemed like that just turned into a volcano, and Bismarck erupted.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely did. And, Hillman's a Minnesota kid. I don't know him super well, but, I know of him, and, he seems like a really great guy, and I feel like when you take out one of their best players and they love the guy, that's tough, especially after a close 4-3 loss the night before. That was emotional. They're coming off of that, so they have the momentum, and then sure enough that happens, then they're even more motivated to stick one to us. And so I think that the stoppage didn't help either because we had a pretty good first 50 seconds. I know it's a small stoppage.
I know, yeah.
But we had a good first 50 seconds, and usually if you can get that first minute and you dominate, that leads to the first 5 minutes, and then first 5 minutes, last 5 minutes are very important. So I think that hit definitely didn't necessarily help us, even though sometimes big hits do. I think it was just the reaction afterwards that hurt us a little bit, and then their players just kind of took it to us after that. It was tough. We really didn't catch any breaks either, obviously. And I also think, if you look at it, what Bismarck has 2 overtime losses or something like that in division, and we got one of them. So realistically, we've snagged a couple of points from them, and I'm assuming they weren't too happy about that, given that they've only lost 2 or 3 games all year.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would agree that 1 point, that was a big point for us, and we just wish we could have came back on Saturday and just been a little more competitive. But again, the Bismarck volcano exploded on Saturday night.
Vinegar and baking soda.
How good can this team be when we're 100% healthy with the way we've played recently against the Wilderness, and then obviously Friday night against the Bobcats?
I think this team can beat anybody when healthy, and when the biggest thing is us just playing our systems, trusting each other, and working hard. A lot of the times I think we get caught thinking too much and not just playing the game. And when we play smart, try not to get too cute, we can really hang with anybody. It showed when we played Bismarck here at home. Yep. We scored 3 goals in 4 or 5 minutes or something like that. And we kind of did the same thing up in Bismarck on Friday night. And I was hurt in the showcase towards the end, and when Janesville and St. Cloud played their game, I was up in the stands, so I got to kind of see everything, and St. Cloud was pretty healthy for that, and we looked we looked really good in that game.
We did.
I knew that coming here we'd have a dangerous team. Obviously, with the sickness and the injuries, it's been a tough go. But once we get back to healthy, I think we can definitely beat anybody.
I would agree, and I think that's the plan going forward. We'll talk about the games this coming weekend. We have a familiar opponent again. We'll play the Bobcats twice here, Friday, Saturday, both 7 p.m. at the MAC. We want to fill this place up for that. But it's going to be games number 4 and 5 in a row against the Bobcats. I mean, you played them so many times now in the last couple weeks. What's the recipe for beating the Bobcats?
Honestly, I think you got kind of a glimpse at it on Friday. You know, we played well on this past Friday, and we showed that when we trust each other, play our system, and play with some energy and get pucks deep, we can really hang and beat anybody. And we realistically, as long as we do the little things, focus on the small details, I think we should be good to go. Hopefully, we'll get enough guys back so we can field the full roster.
Yes.
But we definitely can have their number as long as we do the little things right.
Right. How hard is it to stand up for yourself and for your teammates? Because when you play this team so many times in a row, it's going to get chippy, it's going to get physical, especially with what happened on Saturday night. How is it? Is it hard to balance the standing up for yourself and your teammates as well as trying to win a hockey game? How do you balance that out?
Well, you know, I mean, it is kind of tough. I mean, it's when you play Bismarck, 5 times?
Yeah.
It's like they've had our number the last 3 or 4 games, and that obviously doesn't help standing up for yourself when you've lost 3 straight against a team. But realistically, I mean, as long as we're playing hard, I think there's no reason that, I mean, it's not hard to balance standing up for yourself and standing up for your teammates. I mean, you just gotta kind of hold your own, and if somebody wants to give you a couple shoves after the whistle, you gotta shove them right back.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, worst case scenario, you could drop the gloves like Johns did in his first game and just start throwing haymakers back and forth, and sure enough.
Well, if we only have 9 guys, I don't know if Mo's going to want you to do that too many times.
That also didn't help in the game on Saturday. We had 2 guys in the box, so
yeah,
that was tough.
Got to balance that aggressiveness with trying to win. And
Absolutely.
The question we always wrap this up with, what is Coach Manthis for the first couple of practices of this week? What has his message been for the games upcoming?
I mean, it's really just hard work. I mean, he's always kind of preached the same things against Bismarck. Obviously, playing him 10 times, we kind of know now what he's going to preach, and we know that when we do it, it works.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he loves when we get the puck below their goal line, and obviously, preferably away from their goalie, so he can't play it and break it out easily. But just to get pucks deep below the goal line and make their forwards play the 200-foot game because they hate playing defense. And trust me, as a Minnesota kid, I know these Minnesota forwards hate playing defense. And so just get pucks below their goal line, play strong defensively, and back check hard through the middle and pick up their defenseman coming in on the line rush. And, you know, as long as we're working hard, obviously, we're going to make mistakes. But if it's a hard mistake, it's a lot different than a lazy mistake. So.
Absolutely. We're going to head over now to the player polls. This is the fun part. No one-word answers. You got to give an explanation on everything.
Okay.
First one is going to be, who is the biggest ladies man on the team?
Biggest ladies man. Oh, jeez.
You have been voted once for this.
I have been?
Yes. And you can vote for yourself if you'd like.
You know, biggest lady man, I think it's Suki. I mean, obviously, his head is abnormally shaped, but I think the ladies love it. They just eat it up. When they see Suki, they're like, look at that hair. They look past the head, and they just are like, he's a giant teddy bear. He's awesome.
I think that was the best explanation for any answer we've ever had in a player poll. Who's the best gamer on the team? I know you don't game too much, but who's the best?
You know, if I had to guess, Bjorky might not have the fastest hands on the ice, but I think off the ice he really gets those fingers going on the controller.
Yeah.
So, I think he'd be the best gamer, in my opinion.
Yeah. Who's the most responsible? Who's the dad of the team?
Oh, Bud.
Yeah.
Bud, for sure.
I might just give it to him, but I love to hear it every single time.
I think he's best.
I finally saw the dad hat today. I finally saw the dad hat.
The dad.
I saw the dad
period.
hat. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. So I'm gonna get him to wear that when he comes on this.
Nobody else should ever wear that hat.
Who's the biggest nerd? Like when it doesn't have to be smarts. It could be like Star Wars, Marvel, like that type of stuff.
I mean, I'm kind of a nerd for Marvel, but I don't know. There's definitely somebody. Who would it be? I mean, Gozic kind of comes across like he's a little bit of a geek freak, but who else? That's a tough one. I guess like not being in school for juniors is kind of tough. But
give it to Gasser then.
Yeah, I'll give it to Gasser. Gazzer's got it.
Who's got the best hair on the team?
Myself.
Well, let's see. Is it?
Well, actually, right now.
Oh, okay.
I cut it. It was long. Best hair. I can't give it to Murray. He just got a haircut today.
Yeah.
Ward has some nice hair. I like his hair. Coming out the helmet, it's just beautiful. It's like Goldilocks 2.0 in a male version.
Goldilocks. I think that's a future nickname that we need to get into circulation there.
And the curls are just curls, waves, whatever you want to call them. It's just it looks like you got a perm. And it's just perfect.
A perm,
which I need.
Who's got the best style, the best fashion sense on the team?
Ooh, this one's a close one. So Belial, Bjork, and Greener all have very good style.
Okay.
I think I give Bjork just a slight advantage because I don't know where he gets his shoes from, but they are beautiful. They are the most beautiful things I have ever seen. Whether they're the high top Converse with SpongeBob on the side.
What?
Or I don't know where he orders them from, but they are just money.
Okay. Bjork. I think that's an easy pick.
Yeah.
Who's the team goon? Who's the big hitter, the fighter?
Oh, both of the Johnson twins.
I know they're gonna. 100%. I think they're gonna run away with it now that they're here.
100%. Yeah. If anybody votes differently, tell them they can come talk to me.
No, but here's the thing: obviously. You need to pick one player. You can't pick the Johnsons.
Oh.
You have to pick one.
Oh, Alec Johnson.
Alec.
Yeah.
Okay.
The defenseman, the one who fought 2 minutes after the whistle. So.
All right, Alec will get that one. Who's the locker room clown? The biggest goof on the team?
I'm sure everybody said Aquero.
Yeah.
I think it's Aquero. And, he's got a strong feminine side to him, and it is just hilarious. I don't know what he does, but it is it's pretty funny.
All right.
He is definitely the clown. No matter what he's saying, even when he's trying to be serious, he will do something that's somehow funny.
I love how descriptive you are of these. This is the best. This is the best player polls thus far. Who's got the worst taste in music?
See, that's tough. I mean, we usually only have a couple of the same people on the aux every time in the locker room. But right when I got here, I want to say it was Belial that was on the aux.
Okay, yeah.
And he played the same artist, Lil Uzi Vert, for 3 days straight. Didn't change up any songs. And I literally didn't know what I had gotten into. I was like, I don't know what these people do here, but clearly they just listen to Lil Uzi Vert and get ready to practice. So.
He's gotten a few other votes. So
okay,
yeah, he's gotten a few other votes.
So I'm not a lone ranger.
Yeah, you're not a lone ranger on that one. A little hockey stuff. Who's got the best shot on the team?
Myself, definitely. I'd like to consider myself a sniper.
You did snipe that one on Friday, so I mean, you picked.
I didn't see it go in the net, but I'd like to think that I could do that every game. I mean, no, I gotta do a forward for this one, so we'll go. If Ward actually gets the puck through, I think he can be a sniper, but he gets a lot of shots blocked, so I would have to go with Suki. Suki's kind of got a bomb.
Yeah.
I mean, he does get a lot of weight into his shot, so I mean, that obviously gives a little extra oomph. But I think Suki's got a good shot. I think he probably has the best
I
shot.
love how you rolled in a fat joke into that, into voting for Suki for best shot. It's,
You're welcome, Suki.
This is the best. Who's got the best handles on the team?
The best handles. You know, Gozic told me to vote for him today, and so I'm just 100% not going to vote for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, I think the hardest guy to go against in practice for handles is Aquero.
Okay.
For some reason, he does the same exact toe pull every single time, and I just can't figure it out, even though I know he's going to do it. So Aquero keep doing that.
That means he's good at it. If you know what's coming, and you can't do anything about it,
That's
true. it's
probably makes me look bad.
Yeah.
I mean, hey.
Yeah.
At least I just get my body in a good spot.
Who's the fastest skater?
Fastest skater? I gotta go with Ward.
Okay.
For some reason, when he decides to move his boots, he has a huge jump to his step.
Yeah.
Like, he'll take 2 strides, and it's, like, equivalent to my 15 strides. And I'm just really confused on why I don't move that fast.
Yeah.
But, no, he definitely, I think he's the fastest one on the team.
All right. Who's got the best nickname on the team?
Best nickname? Who? Yeah, think of some nicknames. Probably Suki, because we call him Boots, because he has the slowest feet in the null.
I haven't heard that nickname.
Really?
No.
Oh,
Boots?
yeah. Well, it goes back to high school. We were on the same fall league team, and I told him he has slow boots. So then he started calling me Boots. And so then I started calling him Boots back, and then now everybody calls him Boots or Souk.
So you won. You won that. You're not Boots. He is.
Yeah, he's Boots.
You won that. You won
he's
that.
Definitely Boots. Yeah. Other than that, I don't know any other nicknames.
Who's the worst singer on the team?
Worst singer.
Come back to it.
I would give myself that.
Oh, you're a bad singer.
100%. I am a terrible singer. Me or Suki, we sang together one time, and we were breaking some glass. It was brutal.
Who's the biggest trash talker on the team?
The biggest trash talker. You know, that one's Metcalf.
Really?
100%. Most competitive human being I've ever met. If you just
like in the net, he'll be.
Oh yeah.
Tip.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
If you give a little selly after you score in practice, if he makes a glove save, he's windmilling that, and he is just screaming in your ear the whole rest of practice. Never been more scared of a goal.
I think I'm going to call that one the Shoresy Award once we're done.
Yeah,
the Shoresy
good
Award.
call.
Who has the biggest bromance on the team? This is a new one. Who's got the biggest bromance? It's 2 players, obviously.
You know, I would say Bjork and Suki. They always do this thing in the locker room where
Maybe we should stop there. Do this thing in the locker room.
They like stand up and just stare at each other and just start like alternating who's singing the lyrics, and whoever's singing is dancing, and like they just stand there and smile at each other, and it like really creeps me out because I sit near them, and then it just. It gives
This is what I have to deal with.
vibes.
This is what I have to do. This is what you have to deal with too.
I always tell them to stop, and they don't listen to me, and I literally fear for my life every day.
Right. So they're getting called out for it. Biggest bromance.
Yeah.
Who's got the best facial hair? It is Movember.
It is Movember. I'd like to say myself, but unfortunately, Aquero somehow, whatever ethnicity that man is, somehow just has the real thick facial hair.
Yeah.
And that guy can grow anything he wants. And I'm extremely jealous because mine just slightly doesn't connect on one side.
That's how mine does too.
Yeah,
it's
tragic.
Yeah,
it's tragic.
It's sad. It's sad.
But I think Aquero, he can pull off any look. You know, whether it's a turtleneck and gold chain and the handlebar or whatever he wants. He looks sexy with it too. So that's nice.
Right. That'll about wrap it up for the Blizz Show for this week. Thanks for watching. Next week we will have same thing, another player. Make sure to come to the MAC this weekend, Friday and Saturday, for our games at 7 p.m. against the Bismarck Bobcats. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.